Give thanks and praise to the Most High. Yeah, man. So, we're coming. So, from the um, devotional reading. Conditions for answered prayers. 1. This is part 1 of the series of conditions to answer prayer, part 1. Let me just mark it so we can make sure mark it. Yes, indeed. Our first scripture is found in Luke chapter 18, verse 1 to 5. Remember verse Luke chapter 18, verse 1. And he spoke a parable to them that men should always pray and not lose heart. Okay. All right. So now the king said, bless up yourself. All right, prophetic word. Wait a minute. When reach so far yet. All right, motivational quote. Sorry, let me give you a motivational quote. You can rule in the midst of your enemies if you take prayer seriously. Here now, the prophetic word. Anyone saying no to God's yes in your life shall die in the name of Yahshua. Message. It is the desire of the Father that his children approach him in prayer. Prayer is the natural response of those who recognize their need for the help of Yahweh in their life. The story in our fire scripture shows that the persistency of a widow in getting what she needed. She persistent in going daily to the judge to look into her case. The judge was the kind of person that had no regard for anyone. He does not fear God too. What this story teaches us is that for you to get anything done, you must be persistent. The first prerequisite for answered prayer is persistency. To be persistent is to tarry at the place of prayer until you receive answers. To be persistent is to be at the place of prayer until something happens. To be persistent is to receive value for waiting on the Lord. Dear friends, the problem of many people is lack of persistency. When they pray for a short period of time, they give up very soon. They are so much in a hurry that they find it difficult to wait on the Lord for long. The story of this widow in the lesson to all believers, don't give up without a fight. The problem that a lot of people are fighting is multi-dimensional in nature. Maybe the first day of the prayer is just removing the dust that gathered on the problem. Nothing really has started because you only just removed the dust. The root of the problem is still intact. The tap root is also well entrenched in the ground. If you are peeling an onion ball, you have to continue to peel the dry leaves off until you get to the succulent part of the onion. If you are in a hurry and not patient enough, the dry leaves of the onion will not allow you to enjoy the juicy part of it. Persistence in prayer is like that. You need to be patient with Yahweh or God for Him to settle you completely. He is the Alpha and the Omega. He knows everything about what you are asking for in prayer. May we continue to be persistent. Don't be too hasty. Just like how we all know that onions have an outer layer and we have to peel off these outer layers before we get into the juicy part of the onion. So too with prayer. It's not a hurry thing. Don't rush it. Take your time. This has brought me to the end of my devotional reading with Mina. You are here. Give thanks. Mina says, hello everyone. Hello Jeremy brother. Nice live stream on. Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, man, you have to be persistent in prayer. All right, I'll finish this segment of the devotional reading. I'll be delving into the newspaper segment. Do, 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 do. All right, wait for it to load up. Francis last lap. World's beaters, grateful nation bid legendary track and field coach goodbye. Paul Francis left, prepared to take the with the ceremony of his brother, legendary Jamaican track and field coach Stephen Francis, down the red carpet track as Minister Olivia Grange Wright and Olympian Asafa Powell second right stand with attendees forming a guard of honor at the end of the Thanksgiving service for Stephen Francis live at the National Indoor Sports Center in St. Andrew on Saturday. Okay, wow. I saw the when I was passing in the afternoon, but the taxi driver says it's Stephen Francis. You know, that's quite lucky. It had some banners, company banners, and so forth. Anyway, he spent a lifetime on the sidelines, stopwatch and clipboard in hand, watching athletes take their place on the track. But at the Thanksgiving service for his life on Saturday, Vincent Stephen Fernando Francis was in the spotlight. He made his final lap down a red carpet track. His remains carried in a platinum urn as athletes he had trained and mentored formed a guard of honor, a fitting tribute for the legendary Jamaican track and field coach who produced world beaters. The emotion was unmistakable as athletes fought back tears while ushering Francis out of the National Indoor Sports Center, a stone's throw from the National Stadium, where many of them had delivered some of their greatest performances. This time, however, there was no race to prepare for, no stopwatch to start, and no final instructions to give. Only the painful realization that they were saying goodbye to the coach who had spent a lifetime helping them find their way to the finish line. And now they were returning the favor. For approximately 5 minutes, sprint legends Shelley Fraser, Francis Price, uh, Shakira Jackson, Keshane Thompson, Elaine Thompson, and many others who spent years being taught the art and science of sprinting stood still as family members, friends, government officials, and colleagues looked on, reminiscing on the life of a world class coach. Wow. Where are you? You like not showing your, well, I don't feel like showing my unhandsome face. So I feel like just putting up that picture up there. Still, still here. Still here. See you make son of the king laughing, you know. A nod to his alma mater, Wilmer's Boys School, the sports center, and many attendees were decked on maroon and gold for the alrighty, let me see now. Do-do-do-do-do. Maroon and gold hour for the 4 hour long service that was enveloped in an atmosphere that swung from grief to celebration. Kadeem Clayton embraces his twins daughters, Tatan Taya Clayton, who are both sprint champions and VPM athletes, as they mourn the loss of their coach, Stephen Francis, on Saturday. Part covers echoed during tributes about Francis' excellent track record. Tears flowed when traveling down memory lane. Laughter filled the room at comical moments and musical tributes, and selections provided much needed comforts. In his tribute delivered by Finance Minister Favor Williams, Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness praised Francis for demonstrating what was possible when natural talent was matched with world-class coaching, structure, and preparation. He noted that through the formation of the Maximizing Facility and Power VPM track club, Francis helped create a pathway for Jamaican athletes to develop at home at a time when many were leaving the island in search of training opportunities abroad. Athletes under his guidance became Olympic and world champions, record holders, and household names, yet his influence cannot be measured by counting medals alone. He developed people, he established standards, and he challenged athletes to become more disciplined, more prepared, and more demanding of themselves with honest. He also helped prove that Jamaicans coaching program could consistently produce performance of the highest international standard. In that sense, his impact reached well beyond MVP. He contributed to the evolution of the Jamaican coaching profession and to a stronger national system of athletes development, he said. Multiple Olympian and world champion Chilean Fraser Price enters the National Indoor Sports Center on Saturday to pay final respect to her former coach Stephen Francis. See her in a photograph there. It was for these reasons that Sports Minister Olivia Grange urged the congregants not to mourn but to celebrate the man who position the man who possessed an extraordinary vision backed by purpose and confidence that what he was doing would bring results that he envisioned. Francis understood that talent was only the beginning. Talent had to be developed, potential had to be channeled, and dreams had to be matched by commitment. That philosophy, my brothers and sisters, helped to shape athletes and contribute significantly to Jamaica's remarkable place in the world's athletes. Francis possessed technical mastery. He studied speed like a scientist. Above all, he had a strong belief in Jamaica and the potential of our people, said Grange. She added that to honor his legacy, the government is in discussion to provide student athletes at the University of Technology, Jamaica, the home of the MVP track club, a scholarship in his name. The move was welcomed by President of the uni- of the university, Dr. Kevin Brown, who thanked Francis for choosing the campus as his training ground and placing the institution on the map. One athlete at the time at a time, one athlete at a time. He remembered Francis for his bluntness, discipline, and belief in the potential of Jamaica, joking that he never wastes words and advocated fearlessly for his athletes. An emotional Bridget Foster Hilton and Asafa Powell, the two sprint legends who repeated the rounds of Francis' brilliance, stood as living evidence of his legendary legitimacy through struggling to steady their voices as they fought back tears between the emotions. They recalled cherished memories from daunting train in dodging train conductors in Italy to traveling to Francis' old car, thanking the coach who had taken a chance on them, believed in their potential, and pushed them towards global success. Everything I became started with one man who saw something in a young man before anyone else did, said Powell. Foster Hilton finishing his sorry, Foster Hilton finishing his speech as He broke down in tears. I think the reporter made a mistake finishing. She thanked Francis for every lesson, sacrifice, laugh, and opportunity, noting that he did not just change her life, he changed countless lives. Rest well, Fernando. Your who might be silent, but your legacy lives on, she said through tears. Olympians Nesta Carter, Mylene Walker brought gold medals in the men's and 400-meter relay and women's 400-meter relay, respectively, turned out to bid farewell to Stephen Francis. By his brother Paul, who also spoke through shaky breathing. The decorated coach was remembered as a friend, a loyalist, a protector of his athletes, a family man and a coach. Adrian Lillard wiped away tears as he declared that delivering a tribute to his best friend was the hardest job he was ever tasked with. He said when Francis closed his eyes on July 4th, 2026, a piece of Jamaica left with him, and his legacy will always be remembered. Recounting cherished memories of a man he described as both mentor and friend, MVP President Bruce James said Francis made countless sacrifices in his mission to put Jamaica firmly on the international athletics stage, remaining committed to the vision even in the face of doubt. James recalled that Francis' dedication to his athletes never wavered, even from his hospital bed, where he continued asking for updates on their progress, a final testament to a coach whose commitment to his craft and athletes endured to the very end. History has proven you right, Fernando. The world records, the Olympic records, the world champions, the Olympic champions, the world athletes of the year, the numerous athletes who won medals on the global stage achieved more than they ever thought possible and became better versions of themselves because they were a part of MVP, said James in a written tribute. And a picture here, you see Stephen Francis' alma mater, Wolmer's. He was a Wolmerian. He went to Wolmer's boys school. End of article. Wow, it is a hard road to travel and a mighty long way to go. It is now 5:26 in Kingston, Jamaica. It is so good to see, so good to see. See it and lose. Yahweh is no winner man, no winner man. Yahweh is no winner man. Let us be on the winning side. Oh boy. From yesterday the phone it just a freeze up. It start up so early in the program. Come on phone, no bother with it. Freeze up, it can't get it to go up or down. Let's press this answer something, press it back. Yep, same thing, still freeze up. Can't get it to go up or down. Wow. You hear the birds, them a chirp. Okay, alright. Something about KFC eating into jerk sales. Maran Bay vendors taking a hit, but still welcome fast food restaurants to St. Thomas capital. Wow. Yes, a KFC eat out of nothing. KFC buy them chicken in a bulk, boss man. So yeah, for those dance back. And doing the thing. Mm-hmm. Alright, so let the king say, greetings, the place dark, my host Jeremy. Yeah, I didn't, I not feel like turn on the part of the people in Castle. But with them, man, we not sleep. I work with them, I work, and I jerk, We, sometimes I have to make it look mysterious, you understand what I mean? Yeah, man, that's the thing said, man, but thanks for asking that. Good question, that, man. Alright, we'll continue the reading here about KFC eating into the traditional drug vendors in Maran Bay, St. Thomas are reporting a decline in their business since fast food giant KFC officially opened its historic first restaurant in the parish of St. Thomas in January this year. Wow. But the vendors say while sales are down, they are not being squeezed out of the business, which for years has attracted residents of the parish as well as scores of people passing through the town. One jerk vendor who gave his name only as Johnny last Thursday told the Jamaica Observer that while his business remains open, it's not as warm as it once was. Okay, Johnny, we hear you. Uh, Johnny, who also works as a butcher, said the business has slowed down and the increase in sales he normally sees during holiday periods did not materialize this year. Wow. And you see a picture here of the KFC store in Maran Bay, St. Thomas, declared decorated ahead of its official opening in in January 17, 2026. See a photo there. Johnny said, Johnny told the Sunday Observer that before KFC opened its door, he would prepare some 30 pounds of pork each day, and most times it would sell off. According to Johnny, he now prepares about 20 pounds of pork daily, and even the amount is not always completely sold. He pointed out that even his children sometimes ask for chicken from KFC, so I have to go in there and spend to spend to buy what what they want, said Johnny, who added that he continues to receive support from loyal customers who prefer his jerk pork. Another jerk vendor who requested anonymity said the arrival of KFC in St. Thomas would naturally result in some loss of business for local food operators, but he does not believe it poses a major threat. I don't know, it would be a downgrade in a sense because most people gravitate towards the KFC and then business there, the vendor said, as he told the Sunday Observer that there had been a slight drop off in his business since KFC opened in January of this year. It's gradually going down, but sometimes it's up again, the vendor said, even as he underscored that he welcomes the presence of the immensely popular KFC. He pointed out he pointed to the demand for employment opportunities and development in the parish and described KFC's arrival as a positive development for the intricate industrial and commercial complex dubbed the Morant Bay Urban Center. People need jobs as well, so I would say it's a good thing, the vendor said. KFC invested 350 million to establish its Moran Bay restaurant, which provides jobs for more than 50 people. The store was warmly received by several residents of St. Thomas, with one describing the opening as a wonderful and historic moment for the parish. At the official opening in January, Mark Myers, managing director of the Restaurants of Jamaica, the operators of KFC franchise locally, said the decision to locate in Morant Bay and was deliberate and rooted in confidence in the area's potential. This opening is about more than adding another restaurant to the network. It reflects a deliberate decision to invest in communities beyond Kingston and to grow in places where opportunity and potential continue to emerge. When plans for Moran Bay Urban Center were first taking shape, we saw an opportunity to be part of something transformational. We want to participate in the continued development of this parish, to invest early and to grow alongside the community. And that conviction is what brought us here, Myers said then. End of article. Yes, indeed. Right, the time right now it's 5:39 in Kingston, Jamaica, and this is your host, Jeremy. Live good. Let's see what's going on here. It is a fantasy, a fantasy. Yahweh is the winner man all the time. Well, with anything people need, St. Thomas is a parish that's been forgotten. It is to the east. Uh, go by Harbour View, go through Bull Bay, and go through Bull Bay. But you reach St. Thomas. So it's a forgotten parish. So then have the urban center is a good thing, you understand? Uh, the vendors, them know the drug vendors. I put us roll with it here, man. And thing. So be disheartened by what take place. KFC is the sign and big guys who see an opportunity, and as the Mr. Myers said, this is your opportunity to be in the community, to be alongside them as they grow. So companies like that will put their money where their mouth is, and they spend their $350 million to probably build up an outlet out there in St. Thomas, and I didn't even know the KFC was out there to the east. Also, St. Thomas is where Morgan Heritage family locates when they are here in Jamaica. Popcorn come from St. Thomas. And Jeremy LiveGood come from Kingston. Yeah, man, we there. Yeah, so the answer, Monia. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, find the next article to read for you guys. Yeah, we read about the article for Stephen Francis. We read the article of KFC in St. Thomas. Now here's one vision, mission, spirit, impact, aspiring professionals to benefit from 2-day screenwriters workshop. Okay, and I know this face, a well-known actor. Well-known actor. The 4th annual screenwriters workshop hosted by Star Entertainment is set to take place. Turn on, there's something like I'm open this. Wait. Hold on there. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, man, don't forget get the fan up and running. Just like how Stephen Francis watching athletes them how they're performing, and don't forget the fan up, man. Everywhere the mosquito have to fly the door. The mosquito them all want come in. Like this. Anyway, let's get it back into this article here. Screenwriting workshop is taking place by Star Entertainment. It's set to take place over 2 days from September 15th and 16th at Edmund Mandela College of Visual and Performing Arts. The workshop, which is designed to introduce young and aspiring professionals to the film industry, will feature a keynote address from respected American film director Benny Boom. Other presenters and panelists included Vanessa Ballester, television producer and showrunner, actor John Chambers, producer, writer, and executive Marvin Peart, and a whole host of people who don't really know much about, like Morris Sinclair, uh, cultural entrepreneur and project strategist, screenwriter, Tyrone Rashid. Well, people who know the film world will know these names. I don't want to call out no more names, but I will put them over there for the 2 day, September the 15th and 16th, by the Edna Manley Visual and Performing Arts Center. We won't go any further with this article here. So if people are interested can show up at the Edna Manley workshop. Who want to, who interested in the film industry, aspiring artists, you know, you know what I mean? People interested in the film industry, producers, screenwriters, young actors, can go there. Tears flow in St. Thomas. Alright, so I can read what that's about. Another article from St. Thomas. Oh, fears flow in St. Thomas. Residents still waiting for real protection after riverbank work. And you see a lady pointing. Resident Charlene Gibbas stands in front of her home, points to the dirt pushed along the edge of the path where the um, planting garden river flows in Bad St. Thomas last Thursday. Okay. I don't know the area, so I can't say much about the landmass up there showing a picture. She's pointing. So the river planting garden river flow in Bad St. Thomas last Thursday. So probably the river changed course and was heading to where she resides. Okay. Just over 9 months after Hurricane Melissa sent residents of Bath, St. Thomas scrambling from their homes as the Planting Garden River tore into its banks, washed away a parked car, and uh, threatened to swallow lands inches from their homes. Residents say a recent riverbank intervention has done little to ease their fears. Dirt pushed along the edge in July has provided some protection, residents acknowledge, but They insist it is no substitute for a grading and proper channeling of the river. Therefore, they are warning that another drought of heavy rain could once again send floodwaters towards their homes, further eroding the riverbank and putting the wider community, including Bath Primary School, at risk. They are also adamant that another major weather event, similar to Hurricane Melissa, which ravaged section of the island on October 28, 2025, could finally cause their homes to collapse into the river's path. Wow. Another resident, but but all the place looked to me, it seemed like the river not far from where them people live. The place Bart resident Tracy and Emmanuel points towards the vulnerable section of the planting garden river in Bad St. Thomas, where residents fear another drought of heavy rain could send floodwaters toward, towards them. Wow. So it's like a photo there I'm reading from. As you see, Tracy and points back to the article. When the Jamaica Observer returned to the area last Thursday, the scene was markedly different from the one resident had confronted during Melissa onslaught last year. Dirt had been pushed along the edge of the area where the river bank had broken away, while additional dirt had been placed in the space through which the river flows, apparently to obstruct the water's path and keep it from pushing towards the vulnerable section. But the residents, who have spent years watching the river steadily eating away at the landscape, the intervention has brought only limited resistance. Charlene Gibbas, who lives in the community at the very edge, acknowledged that the dirt has made it immediate in area feel somewhat safe, but said it has not addressed what she considers the fundamental problem, the absence of proper channel to carry the river away from the homes. Okay, homes, streets on the edge of the eroded riverbank. Let's see if I can zoom in. Alright. Okay. Okay, now I saw them at come zoom in look good better I can see. It's like them put some dirt to the side so but it no it not seem like this I don't know good solution to the issue. Are they river trading? or the right thing. Wow. Don't get me wrong, you know, if this was not here, I would not be able to stand up here. Because when you stand up here, so it is a little bit safer. But listen, what we are saying, because we have been here for years, you need to take out that piece and channel it to that dry piece of land over the other side. Dig it and carry down there, so that when the river comes down, it goes that side and follows the channel instead of coming over here, because what with how it's stay now, the water is going to come over here same way. Gibbons told the Jamaica Observer. Wow. And that when I like, with the people who do certain work, they don't listen to the people who up on the ground. Ever since they don't listen. They just follow what they think is right. Just like I was hearing a local story one time about a bridge being built, and people tell the gentleman that was building a bridge, like they want to move a bridge from somewhere and put it at the wrong place. And they said, don't put it here so because there so the bridge will be more will demolish if you put it right here. So said, so done. They don't listen to the small people then because they don't. Sure, they don't have no degree and whatever on paper. They look on them as start to know. Last October, Hurricane Melissa battered Jamaica. Sections of the Planting Garden River collapsed, prompting residents living nearby to quick evacuate their homes. Video footage circulated on social media showed residents fleeing as a section of the riverbank gave way, um, sweeping away a parked car in the process. For residents, the episode was not entirely unexpected. During an October visit, Art resident Bailey said the community had been calling for the river to be properly protected for more than 2 decades. He pointed to cracks in the soil near the threatened homes and warned that the structured structured ground could still give way even after the hurricane had passed. Furthermore, the river's movement has also changed the landscape over time. According to Gibbons, who rejected the suggestion that residents had simply built their homes too close to the river's path. She said the river was once much further from the homes and that the encroachment had occurred gradually as the water continued to wash away the land. We could see river and build house. We we could see river and build we house beside it. We are not that stupid. Wow. That is what I am trying to tell people, that the river was all the way over there. So, but over time it kept coming over and washing away the land, she said. noting that she has lived in the community for 19 years and has watched the river steadily eroding on the land. Initially, residents had suggested that large boulders be used to straighten the vulnerable section, similar to measures they had seen elsewhere. But Gibbons said the current deterioration of the river bank means that approach is no longer enough. At, at times, we ask them to turn the river, and we did a say get the big stone them at the at that time. It never had it never so bad. So we did suggest they could use boulders like them did use over Yalas or Port Royal Road, others areas. But then it get so bad now, so that is no longer an option. The river had have grave back, turn the river and grave it back. Well, then now listen, so that now go take place. Tracy and Emmanuel, another Bart resident, said the recent intervention does not appear capable of withstanding the force of the river during sustained rainfall. She suggests that the river needs to be properly trained, a process that, in practical terms, involves controlling and directing the water course so that it does not continue slipping into vulnerable areas. While this don't make any sense, they need to rebuild a growing. This place really need it if growing back, because if one next big shower of rain come, we are going to be in problem. So when PG Platinum Garden River is come, it a go push back the dirt to come over here. So she reasoned. Wow. Concerns were also raised about how long it took officials to address the issue. According to Gibbons, the work was carried out roughly 3 to 4 weeks before the Sunday Observer revisited the area last Thursday. She said residents had become increasingly concerned as the hurricane season progressed and they saw no work being done yet or given an explanation about who was responsible for the eventual intervention. She said the lack of consultation has added to the frustration. According to Gibbons, workers arrived, carried out the work, and left without explaining to residents what was being done or what the intervention was intended to achieve. At the same time, at the time of the Sunday Observer visit, she said residents did not know which agency had undertaken the work. Gibas said residents are particularly anxious because relocating is not a realistic option for many of them. Wow. Mm, 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 mm. Wow, wow, wow. We cannot move. We don't have any option. When hurricane came October and we had to move out with things because of what happened. And by November I had to move in again. That was one thing. But now me no have a next option. Me no have the money to buy land and start over and make a next house again, she said. So residents are watching the weather closely and worrying about what other prolonged period of rainfall could bring. Gibbons said the dirt has at least created enough of a barrier to make it possible for her to stand at the edge of the vulnerable area without feeling as exposed as before. But she does not regard that as evidence that the underlying danger has been addressed. She also pointed to what she sees as a gap between authorities carrying out physical work and residents living with the consequences. Kilbas said the Sunday Observer team was the first group since Hurricane Melissa to return and speak directly with residents about the conditions of the river and their concerns. From Hurricane Melissa come last year, October, we were the first set of people who come and have a conversation with me and ask me about the river. Anybody else we see, them just come work and point. Them no know we and we no know them. The tractor man say I work him get fi push dirt and him just a work. The rest of people them just come in and look and point finger and gone. Sorry, and gone, she expressed. Mm. The National Work Agency has since been identified as the agency responsible for the intervention work. Stephen Shaw, the NWA manager of communication and customer service, confirmed to the Sunday Observer last Friday that the agency carried out the intervention but said he could not provide details at the time. For the residents of Bath, however, the immediate concern is less about who moved the dirt and more about whether it will overwhelm the river next rises. End of article. Wow. Mm-mm. That's another good one. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Oh, cherry, oh, baby. Don't you see I'm in love with you? Okay, it's now 11 minutes past 6 in Kingston, Jamaica. Take a sip of this water here. Okay, I was looking for something and I came across this hibiscus sorrel ginger. It tastes really nice. This hibiscus sorrel ginger, tropical rhythm, manufactured by Grace. Yeah, it tastes real nice. And when I drank two of them, I gave a female friend one. We ran into each other. So I gave her one of them. Until yes, indeed. All right, I guess we're gonna leave it now. That's we're gonna leave it. So, salute, heart of love to you all out there. Take care of yourself. All right, peace out.